Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we are unpacking a seriously compelling story called The Fire Inside, Daniel's Journey from Poverty to Power. Now, this isn't just some generic feel-good narrative, it's an actual structural blueprint for turning absolute pain into unbelievable momentum. So let's dive right in.
They laughed at him because he was poor. They ignored him because he had nothing. Just picture this for a second. A barefoot boy standing in the pouring rain outside a wealthy restaurant. He's watching people eat, holding absolutely nothing but an empty plastic bag. Cars are passing by and nobody even notices he's there. This is Daniel's starting line. It's a stark, heartbreaking reality, but it completely sets the stage for the boy who eventually became the man everyone wished they had believed in.
Chapter 1. The Reality of Poverty. So Daniel's early life was pretty much defined entirely by what he lacked. We're talking no father, no money, zero connections, literally just hunger. He was born into a place where dreams kind of died early. Every single night, he'd watch his mother sacrifice her own food. She would cook the last piece of bread they had and just pretend she'd already eaten, strictly so he could survive. He saw that empty plate of hers, and in that agonizing environment, he promised himself that one day he was going to change their life. But out in the real world, well, the cruelty just kept coming. Kids at school would laugh at his torn shoes. They would literally throw paper at him while the whole class mocked him. People judged him before he even opened his mouth to speak. And this brings us to the first major choice Daniel faced. When pain hits, it can either completely destroy you, or it can build a fire inside you. Daniel didn't let the mockery crush him. He chose the fire. Moving right along to Chapter 2, The Catalyst for Change.
Now, Daniel's relentless work ethic directly clashed with these bleak circumstances. I mean, look at the sheer contrast in how he spent his time. While other kids his age were sleeping, Daniel was working. Before dawn, he was at the market, sweat dripping down his face, carrying these massively heavy boxes. During the day, his peers were off playing football nearby, just wasting time. But Daniel, he was learning. At night, he studied old business books under a weak streetlight, simply because his own house didn't even have electricity. He was dreaming of a life nobody around him could even see. And yeah, for sure, there were nights he wanted to quit, when the hunger hurt too much, but every time he looked at his mother sleeping on the floor, he just kept going.
Then, the ultimate catalyst hit. His mom had been coughing, kind of hiding her sickness from him, until one night, she got seriously ill. They went to the hospital, and the hospital asked for money they simply did not have. Daniel felt entirely, completely powerless. But it was in that exact devastating moment that he made the absolute biggest decision of his entire life. He vowed that he would never, ever stay poor again. Which brings us to Chapter 3, The Power of Failure. So acting on that vow, he hits the streets selling cheap products. But hey, let's be real, this was absolutely not an overnight success story. He started with absolute zero. Zero investors, zero rich family members, zero safety net. He had nothing but his own courage. People ignored him on the street. Some even walked away laughing at his face. And relying only on that courage led to his first business failing. Then another business failed, and then another one failed. He was left sitting alone at night, counting just a few coins with tears in his eyes.
Naturally, all that failure embarrassed him. People mocked him, friends just kind of vanished, and even his own relatives were telling him to just give up already. Which really begs the question, right? What actually makes successful people different? What separates the people who succeed from those who just succumb to relentless failure and mockery? Because successful people aren't the ones who never fail, they're the ones who refuse to stop.
Instead of blaming life or playing the victim, he sits in this tiny internet cafe with a notepad studying successful people. And he realizes this massive fundamental mindset shift. Poor people wait for opportunity, but hungry people, they create it. He knew he had to change his mindset and stop waiting for a handout that was literally never going to come.
Chapter 4, The Turning Point. Okay, so this right here is where Daniel transitions from just working hard to working with incredible strategic focus. He figures out that money actually lives inside the problems nobody else wants to solve. So he starts by noticing people struggling with a really simple problem in the market. While everyone else was just complaining about it, he actively searched for a solution. An idea hit him, and he leaned all the way in. Finally, he worked in silence. He built his business day and night. For years, guys, there were no vacations, no sleeping in, zero excuses, and absolutely no showing off.
While people laughed at his small beginning, Daniel was building a future they could not understand.
He just endured all that mockery of his tiny shop and his quiet grind until the ultimate tipping point finally arrived. One day, a customer walked in. He smiled with pure disbelief. Then that one single customer became 10, and those 10 became hundreds. Slowly but surely, the poor boy everyone had completely ignored started becoming incredibly successful.
And finally, Chapter 5, Beyond the Money. Fast forward years later, and he's stepping out of a luxury car in a crisp suit, with crowds of people actually recognizing him. He's got the businesses, the cars, the total freedom. But you know what? The businesses and the money weren't the real prize here. The true victories were profoundly personal. First, it was proving that his past absolutely did not define his future. Second, it was buying a beautiful home so the mother who once skipped meals for him, who literally slept on the floor so he could eat, could finally smile without fear. He realized that success means absolutely nothing if the people you love can't enjoy it with you.
And another incredible victory? He actually went back to his old neighborhood. He handed out food and school supplies to kids who were struggling exactly like he used to. He proved a really profound truth. Every successful person was once unknown. Every champion once struggled. You should never, ever laugh at someone because they're poor today, because you have no idea who they're going to become tomorrow. Every millionaire once started with nothing.
So, the absolutely crucial point I really want you to take away from this explainer today is this. Your current situation is not your final destination. I want you to look directly at your own life right now and realize your current struggles absolutely do not dictate your ending. Whether you're facing financial hardship, repeated failures, or just surrounded by people who don't believe in you, your story is far, far from over.
Our final takeaway for today is beautifully simple. Start small, dream big, never give up. If you stay focused, keep learning, and absolutely refuse to quit, one day your pain will become your power. Your story is going to inspire the world. So my question to you as we wrap this up is this: what will you build with your fire?